Chapter 15 Obsessions and Hobbies. After Jimmy's accident, there were no more unlucky events, but Vula often worried about the accident. She tried to understand why it had happened. Why Jimmy? Why her family? All people think about why me at some time in their lives. Why did bad things happen? Most times there is no answer to this common question about life. She asked her mother, and Argiro replied that it had just been bad luck and that sometimes these things happened. Vula started thinking about good luck and bad luck. Was there anything she could do to keep evil away and to make sure good things happened? She began to take notice of other people's ideas about luck, like if you blow out all your birthday candles, your wish will come true. Never walk under a ladder. And her teacher said that some people thought that breaking a mirror would bring 7 years of bad luck. Then Vula realized she was not the only one to think about good and bad luck. Others had been thinking about this too. She was not alone. People had thoughtfully made some rules for her to follow. On a certain day, as Vula, Peter and Jimmy were walking to school, Vula happened to notice a caterpillar on a tree by the side of the footpath. She stopped to look at it and walked around the tree for a better view. Then she hurried to catch up with her brothers. Suddenly a thought stopped Vula. Everything had been going well in her life since the accident, but what if changing her path from her regular walk to school would bring bad luck? Was it good luck versus bad luck? Was it just lucky that everything was going well with her family? Or was it some special behavior that brought good luck? What if her walk around the tree, which had been different from her usual path, made a different future? Would it bring bad luck? She ran back to the tree and circled around it, to the side she would normally go past, and then walked at a normal speed back to her brothers. Next, she noticed some other things, like an uneven crack in the footpath, and decided it would be bad luck to step on it. When she crossed the road, she decided to walk north and then turn west, not west first and then north. Coming home, she felt she had to walk on exactly the same path to undo the walking she had done in the morning. Her fear of making bad luck for herself and her family grew. Vula became more careful about where she walked first, in her bedroom, and second and third. Day after day, week after week, Vula followed strict walking patterns. She felt trapped, unable to get out of her fear of bad luck. She didn't know that there is a name for this type of mind behavior: obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. She was proud to be the eldest child and felt responsible to help her family. Not in a million years did she want her brothers to know what she was doing. Vula knew she was being a bit silly and felt ashamed to let anyone know about her behaviour, so she took care to walk behind Peter at the right places. She didn't want Peter to see, and she hoped Jimmy was too young to notice. However, one day, as they were walking home, Peter asked her, "Why do you always walk around that tree clockwise and then anti-clockwise?" Vula replied, "I want to." Peter told her he thought she was doing stupid things. He had found out her secret. To show him that he was wrong, she stopped her special walking patterns. She even walked on the crack on the footpath. The next few days, Peter watched Vula carefully, and Vula watched Peter too. If he was watching, she didn't follow her plans to stop bad luck. After some time, she realized that nothing bad had happened, and she was cured. Sometimes she did follow her special walking patterns, but with time she forgot about bad luck. It is not always as easy as that for people who are obsessive about something to stop behaving in a strange way. In the 1960s, people often became obsessed with a hobby. During their leisure time, some people would collect things like coins, dolls, spoons, and plates, anything really. Others just enjoyed a hobby for fun and were not obsessed. Argyro had siblings in Greece and received mail with Greek stamps on the envelopes. She used the stamps to educate Vula about Greece, Hellas. The stamps often showed the Greek royal family, the heroes from mythology, and the ancient Greek gods. Argyro showed her daughter how to remove the stamps by soaking them in cold water until they could be easily peeled off the envelope. Then they dried the stamps for a day and put them in her stamp album. Most stamp albums had names of countries on different blank pages where the collector could paste their stamps. However, Vula's album had open rows of clear plastic for the stamps to be placed into. The stamps could easily be rearranged and moved about, but there were no headings for the countries. Argyro encouraged Vula to collect used stamps rather than buying packets of unused stamps from the post office. It was a slow process until Auntie Tasia from Greece heard that Vula was starting a stamp collection. Tasia was 11 years older than Vula and had just graduated as a secondary school teacher. She kindly sent Vula most of her stamps in her next letter to Australia. Vula started to eagerly organise her stamps. She was very seriously stuck on stamp collecting for several months. She thought Auntie Tasia was her best auntie and must love her very much to give up her own stamps to her niece like that. The Australian stamps she had were from bills and letters from Argyro's sister in Melbourne and a cousin from Adelaide. They were 5-cent stamps, and the Queen looked very young and beautiful. Vula's favourite stamps, because of their unique shapes, were an Egyptian stamp which had 16 sides and a stamp from the Gabonese Republic which was triangular. She hoped that one day they would be worth a lot of money. Anyhow, Vulla was only dreaming. She was not very passionate about stamp collecting, and her interest lasted only a couple of years. Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, says it does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you don't stop. But Vulla lost interest in her stamp collecting and stopped. Thank God she didn't become obsessive about her stamps.